quick update tonight, guys, and the markets. First of all, no trades today. Did not get a chance to take any trades. But let's go over today's price action. So, what's going on again, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. So today is the 20th of April. We are at the third week of April, and this is what the markets did today. So like I said, no trades on the accounts. Let's see and go over the price action today. So we open today with a little bit of a gap down, about let's see, about 300 points gap down, and then we just pretty much bought right back up, and that was it for the day. A little small of a range there, the same kind of gap down like we did last week, but we ended up did not running much higher. We closed at the highs, but we are a little bit hesitant with breaking out above, so we're still inside of last week's range. So let us see what we actually get. I don't know if we're going to sell off back or we're going to push higher, but I would expect a little bit of a pullback manipulation before we run higher. So this is what we look like on NAS 100, US 500, same thing, US 30, pretty much the same thing. Oil, we gap down and sold off, and so we get back up now. So there's still tension going in between Iran and US, and that is what is causing this little bit of a disturbance. Gold still trading a little bit higher, so we gap down and then we trade back up, and then this evening we currently gap back down again. So the market has not been as volatile as the last couple of weeks or so. Looking at these ranges, usually by this time in Asian session would already move maybe 100, 200 point or 300 point already. This is what we look like today on the daily, on the hourly time frame, with the 4 hour and the PO3 over here. So little trade down here and just sideways bought up, came back down, and then now we ended up buying up slowly throughout the after part of New York session, a little bit after, maybe about around lunchtime, because we ended up selling off here. So not many trades, not many clean trades today. If you're not comfortable reading price action, then you might not have gotten any trades. So a little bit of a weird session. So we opened here, traded up, then we came down. Honestly, last night I thought I was gonna get a buy here. I actually was going to take a buy here on one of the accounts, and I hesitated, and that was a good thing. We ended up coming back down, then trading back up, coming back down again, and trading back down. And these moves are on the lower time frame. So currently we have this new week opening gap inside of here, and we pretty much stayed within that gap of the 300 and odd points, 300 and little points. So that was the range of today. So we still bullish, just not as strong as last week and the prior week. So we currently still sitting at all-time highs, but the price action isn't the most favorable during the Asian and the London session, and I missed the best opportunity. But let me show you what we could have gotten throughout the session. So let me quickly zoom in. Here, alright, so this is what we look like today. This was the initial gap down right around 6 last night. Gap down here, ended up buying back up. This was a nice little scalp opportunity from this fair value gap here, and this was pretty much the low of the day because we didn't even revisit this level right here. So this was the initial gap down, and then we started just trading up immediately. No trades there. We traded sideways right throughout New York. Um, Asian session coming back down here for a tap into, I think I had a H1 fear pull gap here. Then we ended up trading up. I missed out on pretty much all of this. Was watching, but not the best opportunities. So I didn't even try to capitalize on any of those. We ended up trading up there. So we had a nice little order block here. This is around 8 p.m. This was the best opportunity during Asia coming all the way up. And then for 10, the second 4 hour candle opened right here, and we just opened and came all the way down. I was going to attempt a buy inside of here, and luckily I just put the risk to reward tool here on this thing, and I was saying maybe we will come, but it was a little bit outside of the macro when we started to pivot because I just wanted to target flipping this 4 hour candle bullish for the 4 hour PO3. We ended up selling all the way off, coming down, and by 2 a.m. that's when we actually got that bone. So we come down during Asia, late Asia going into Frankfurt. We came down to the liquidity of Asia, and then we ran back up. So we only had took internal, well, we didn't even take the internal liquidity here. So that buy wasn't the cleanest. But right around 2 a.m., we had this buy. So we had a fear value gap here that we came back to test. We had a change in the state of delivery right here. And right inside of the macro, you got a nice buy. We open at this 4 hour candle also. And we traded all the way up to about 80 points before reverting back. So I expected the reversion because if you notice how this 4 hour candle open right here, there was no manipulation on it. Usually when that happens, we normally get a reversal to form a wick, especially if we're going to go higher. So we end up coming back down, and this end up forming a decent little wick, and this tapping into this fair value gap. We had a nice change in the state of delivery here. I think this is on the 5 minutes inversion fair value gap here, and coming back to retest this fair value gap right here before breaking higher. So that was the main trade for London session. This was around 4 a.m. in the morning. I wasn't up, so I couldn't capitalize on that. We ended up running up for almost 100 points right there. These were some re-entries, one inside of here. Building the order flow, you could have gotten another one here, another one here, and another one here coming up. This one was a good one inside of the macro for a nice little scalp. Trading up, and this 4 hour candle close right here off the highs. So if I zoom out, if I should if I should zoom out, this 4 hour candle open here, traded up, come back down and close right around here. Immediately this one opened at 6 a.m. and we traded up for 30 points before reverting back lower. When we came back lower, we ended up forming a nice little fair value gap here where we traded back down into this. This 15-minute fair value gap gave us a spring to go higher again, and I missed out on all of this. I was watching this a little bit while going to work. We ended up trading all the way up in pre-market, going over into the main session open. So we ended up trading all the way up into here, and closing, I think, right here. So this 10 a.m. candle also closed a little bit off the highs. So we had a 15-minute fair value gap here, but this could have been a nice little buy. Don't like the little flash move here, but this was a nice little scalp. So we had the new week opening gap, and as well as this created the RTH or the ETH gap. So this is the difference between the close on Friday and the opening on Monday at 9:30. Right here, we ended up spiking down, then trading back up, and we had an inversion here, and as well as a 5-minute EOB candle, as well as another fair value gap inside of here. So this was the inversion. A lot of people caught this scalp quickly, but if you realize we didn't go far before returning, and then now this 4 hour candle traded up a little bit before coming all the way down. So the first macro of the day did not give us um, the cleanest of entry. If you weren't patient, then you would have been caught off guard inside of here. So if you sold anywhere inside of here, because I was going to attempt selling right here, but I realized the stop is a little bit too wide for my comfort, and honestly I had to get to my desk right inside of here. So I got up and I didn't end up taking any trades. This would have been a nice little sell because we ended up getting another inversion entry here, as well as a little bit outside of the macro. We would have gotten about a few entries. So using this as an order block outside of the macro, we traded up into this fair value gap, and this could have been a nice sell entry. Another one inside of here, another one inside of here, and another one inside of here for the silver bullet. So this would have been the silver bullet entry, and another one here to take price lower. So if I measure those, the first one here and then now the second one here, these could have been, if you're trading aggressive, then say 20 points stop there, because I don't like to risk more than 20 points. So this one another say 30 points there, and by 11 you would have gotten a little 100 points drop right there to maybe that be the main trade of the session. After that we ended up getting some buys. I need to change this template for the risk to reward tool. So let me remove that there. We end up having some buys right here. So right inside of the macro we had a first inversion here, then we had another fair value gap being formed. I think this is a change in the state of delivery here, and we ended up getting a test of this fair value gap, and this would have been a beautiful entry. I saw another trader catch this and TP'd somewhere up inside of here, but this was a nice little trade if you follow in the order flow and if you know how to enter. This would have been a beautiful entry right inside of here to go up here for almost 100 points, take off most of it and just leave a runner. By the time we got to midday macro also gave us a nice little entry right here, using this as an order block. Ended up testing it several times, and this is just really some range bound price action. It's a slow grind. We did higher, but we ended up trading all the way back up to the highs up here. But this macro not the cleanest, and also 1 p.m. did not give us much of a clean entry. The special macro not much here, but all of this is during the lunchtime period. And then now by the time we got to the 2 p.m. silver bullet, this is where the 4 hour candle close. So ended up opening here, trading down and closing here. So this is a bearish candle with a long wick. We ended up opening there and trading all the way back up to end of the year right there. So this would have been a nice little scalp again. Maybe another one here, using this as a order block, this candle. There were a few opportunities, but if you're not being patient and if you're not reading price action correctly, then you wouldn't have capitalized on any of those. So if I should show you, this should actually be a green one as well. So those were the trades for today, and like I said, if I should log into the FTMO dashboard and show you no trades, log in quickly, but no trades today because like I said, the opportunities that came in did not present themselves during the time where I was on the chart. So um, I couldn't get to capitalize on the entries that I wanted. So see here, we up on this one, but like I said, the last trade I took was Thursday. I sat through price action Friday, did not take any trade. So if I show you the calendar, no trade since Thursday, no trades today. Hopefully I get some throughout this week here, but that is currently hit. And on the 100k account, it's the same thing. I haven't taken much trades on this because the time is really beating me, guys. The time to be on the charts. So the last trade was last week, Wednesday. Um, yeah, so let us see what we get going into tomorrow. Tomorrow should be better, a little bit more volatility. But that is it for today's video. Until next time, I'll catch you guys. Peace.